Hey guys, how's it been going? This is JSer. Let's continue our journey to Relay. Okay, so in the previous video, we have succeeded in adding the optimistic updating feature to our TODO app. So even though the API actually had 3-second delay, we can actually experience a web app like real time, right? Super cool. I think this by far the most powerful part that I like about Relay, setting aside all those complexity it adds to our app. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to cover some of the error handling. There are a lot of error cases in a web app, right? The error, network error, server error, or internal error of React or something like that. So to make things simpler, let's suppose that we had some errors in our server-side API. Okay, let's try to throw some errors. I think it's in our no user query, fetch user. So let's just throw an error here. Okay, fetch user. There's some error. Throw new error. Some error. Let's see what happens. Of course, it's blank because we don't handle the error, right? But notice that in the GraphQL, actually when error happens, it's not like a 400 or 500 error. The status goes the same. Maybe this is by a spec of GraphQL, I guess. So of course, beside the GraphQL, maybe the network layer would offer some error like 400, right? But in our case, this is only the internal logic of GraphQL layer, so there's no status codes for that. It actually has a data user as null, and the users, the error is actually holding the error message. Some error. And then the real error actually happens because when we try to access the user's data, right? But it's not there, so error actually is thrown here. Cannot read the property ID. It happens in the header. To handle this kind of error, actually, we've already covered. We already have in my previous videos, I've even digged into the internals of the React to see how error boundary is actually working, right? So we just add an error boundary and that's it. So let's try to add it. In our UI part, let's add a component set error boundary in the JS. Okay, so import components from React, export class error boundary, extends component, and any class component that implements the static get derived state from error. I guess I don't remember the name. Comma flow. Okay, this repo is set up by the official demo, so I don't know what is happening about the suggestions. So shit. Okay, we get an error. Obviously, we need to use a state to store the error, right? Default to null, and then we just return the error. And by render. So in order to have this boundary, supporting different kind of error, we just try to get the fallback UI from the. No, this is not true. Should we get the fallback UI? Okay, wait a minute. Render. Yeah, we need to get the fallback, get these props fallback. By this fallback, we need to get the reset error, right? So if fallback is there, okay, no, wait a minute. Const error equals this state. So if there's error, if not error, we just render this children, right? Nothing is changed. if there is error, we need to return the fallback, right? So let's just return the fallback. Fallback should be, I guess it should be a function. Yeah, a function. So function fallback, but we hope that there's some button there to reset the error. So clear error. So we need to okay, add something called clear error. This set state. We clear the error. So error, it's now fallback. Clear error. Yeah, that's it. So we need a fallback. The fallback actually accepts the clear. Let's try to add this error boundary in our app. Okay, here it is. We import it. And in our app here, this is the app. The error actually happens in header, but we can just wrap into the root. For demonstration, we fall back. This is clear error. What we render? We render just a p tag. So the message we just hard coded for now. Some error is happened. Yeah, and then put the error back in here. So this is it. Cannot resolve error boundary. Yeah, true. Okay, now let's reload. Clear error is not defined. Ooh, obviously we should this. Okay. Some error happened. So this is it. So this is how we handle the error boundary. But the thing is that maybe this boundary is this error is not is accidental, right? We better allow the user to fetch the API again. So that's why I'm passing down the clear error here. So it's allow us to generate some UI to retry. Let me set it here. So error happened. Why not? Okay, button. Retry it. Let's add the underline here. And when it's clicked, okay, to do. Obviously the UI will change, like why not retry? We click, nothing happened. Here we need to go back to our relay to see how to refetch, reload the API. Our actually app query is loadQuery here. It's outside of our app, and this actually doesn't offer us any method to reload it. So this is why we're using useQueryLoader. useQueryLoader, app query, and the initial one is the app query ref, and actually the first one is ref, and then the next one is node query, and this ref is passed down here. So actually we're wrapping the app query ref to useQueryLoader. This is the initial one, and then by using query, okay, wait a second, I'm not sure I'm getting this right. This ref, this load query, oh yeah, that's right. So by wrapping this up, we could actually have this load query function. We can call it again, right? Oh yeah. Oh, if by this actually the error boundary should be I'm sorry, the error boundary should be again in here, because we need to you call the load boundary. Maybe this one is just the default one. Okay, we cannot retry here now. So yeah, just some error happens. This is the root error boundary. This is our child error boundary. So here on click, we couldn't just do what? First, we clear the error, and then we just load query again. Allow me to hard code the parameter. In practice, you should make it better. Let's give it a try. You say, okay, what happened? Some error happened. Wait a minute. We calling the app. This is fallback, and then in our app we render this error boundary. This is the fallback, and then we call. What happened? GraphQL, yeah, it gives us the error, but actually the error is not there. It's now, right? Now this state. Ooh, shit. I know what happened here. I'm so stupid. Okay, now we have an error. Nothing was returned from render. Error boundary. Where is it? Error boundary, nothing is returned from the render. You mean the return statement is missing? Return now. Above error occurred in error boundary. Error boundary? If error return is fallback, but we don't have error right now, right? Okay, log it. Render error boundary this state. For error boundary, we have an error actually. He says error boundary, nothing was returned from render. We didn't set the fallback? We have the fallback. Here, children, right? Oh, shit. Okay, but my bad. Okay, so now this error is displayed just for because it's dev mode. Okay, we can ignore that. Okay, now you see that we have some error. Now some error happened. Why not retry? So let's click this button to see what happens. Okay, you can see that error is triggered again. The GraphQL, there should be another request for that. No. Oh yeah, my bad. So actually, for the fetch loadQuery method, it defaults is to the policy is to fetch the data in our local store. So even though we load it, it actually will just fetch the errored data again because it's. In order to make it work, we need to pass another option called the fetch policy network only. So by setting this option, it means that the load must be from the network. Let's say. Okay, now we can see that GraphQL get again, but it's got an error. So in order to mimic the real accidental error, let's make it a random error. So if math random is more than 5, so half, okay? So it's a 50-50. Okay, now it's right. Okay, let's try a wrong case. Ooh, good luck. Okay, now we have an error. Now retry it. Okay, error, retry, error, retry. Okay, yes. So this is how we handle the error retry. Very interesting, especially when we use the error boundary. Maybe we can just pass in dynamic fallback, and then this callback is treated as a should be a function, and this function accepts this clear error to reset the error in the error boundary, and then do everything you want just remember to clear the error when you refetch the API. And another error case error case is when we are doing the mutate, right? Remember, we can delete or add or update, right? So let's see what happens in this case. Again, in this add to do, let's just do it in the update mutation. Here, mutate and pay, get payload. We just set 300 timeout, and then just to reject new error, some error. And then let's see. Let's update it. Okay, it's updated because it's optimistic, and then okay, it's revoked, and because it's error. This error because there's in our updater, it's in the update to the mutation. We don't have an updater, and there's no ID in our response, so nothing to update, and the optimistic update is just revoked. And by this, it's not very good, right? We're better to show a toast to say, okay, network happened, please try again, right? Show something toast like here. In this case, we just show an alert to mimic what we wanted to do. Okay, so by that, there's two options on the commit mutation, which is on error. But this actually is not working because, as we said, the GraphQL actually doesn't set the status for the errors. It's just 200, so it's actually this error is not called. On the other hand, actually there's another hook called uncomplete error. We can log the errors here to see what was in it. Okay, oh, the user is always, let's just remove it, make it better. Okay, now let's update it. 1, 2, 3. There's no log. Really? It's update incomplete. It should be complete, I guess. There's no log. Really? Wait a minute. I think is mutate uncompleted. Oh God. Okay. Everything I'm saying is already on the doc. I just do some easy to understand demo. Great, update it. Okay, you see that actually this is the payload, and then the second one is error. Great, so now we can just alert message, right? So let's say if errors is not empty, let's just print alert the first one. So errors 0 message. Actually, we need to toast, but just to use alert here. Update. 1, 2, 3, blah. Some error. Okay, so now you can just try doing it over again, and because it's rolled back, nothing bad happens. Cool, right? Okay, so that's it. But we have one thing left, which is the error. Actually, we don't know how we can customize the error message from the server side, right? So we just have the error set, or throw a message set. Okay, what is it? Is some error? Some errors. What is some error here? Wait a minute. Nodes. Some error. Yeah. What if you want to do the best handling of these server-side errors? As GraphQL mentioned. Error. It says access errors with GraphQL. If you want to access the information in your application to display user-friendly messages, like you can make it like you can serve in the English or serve it into germinate. The recommended approach is to model and expose the error. So rather than we say have this result, but just to make it a union with some error, right? So in your client side, you just say, okay, we get some data. If it is error, we do this. If it is not error, we do that. So this is obvious, but it's kind of not that easy. We'll just do this part in the next video after I'm getting more familiar with it. So today, just to do a quick recap, I will just use ErrorBoundary to catch all the errors, and we can retry by using the useQueryLoader. Use QueryLoader to reload it. Just remember to add the fetch policy to network only, and then in the mutation we have this on error and on complete to these hooks to handle the error messages. There are two kinds of errors. One is network errors, like the real network layer error, 400 is 500, something like that. But for GraphQL internal errors, they are actually served through the 200. So that should be detected on the uncompleted. But for any error happens in mutation, don't worry, the state will be wrote back. So yeah, it's very easy to handle. That's all for this one. Hope it helps. See you next time. Bye bye.